Hello everyone and welcome back to John Builds. Okay, so a little bit of a different video today. It's a kind of series that I thought that are pretty much dead and buried. So back in 2019 I subscribed to the 1/250 scale Battleship YAMATO. It was like a part work, so I received a pack every month, and I was 2 years into the build. Well, probably I was actually 31 videos, and around about about I'd say probably 2 years into build when actually Model Space just ceased trading, and I just never received a notification or anything. I just stopped receiving the parts. So literally, as people know, all the hull was complete. I'd started doing some of the superstructure, and I was going to continue the build. But like I say, when the parts had stopped being sent, I literally thought that the build was over. That was like 2019, so I'd been building this for quite some time. So around about a year ago, I got a message from a subscriber saying that he'd started building the Yamato. He got the full collection, and he was not interested in finishing it. He was quite happy to send it me and let me complete it. So he sent me all the parts. So I thought that was great. I can kind of get this finished. But the trouble is, it was a digital subscription, so there was no magazine. So all the instructions you had to download from the internet. I went on a website, and obviously, literally, Model Space's website had gone. So I thought, even though I'd got the parts, and I could have had a go at trying to build it just off pictures, I just didn't have the time. But recently, by a little bit of an accident, when I was searching through my older hard drives, I actually found that I'd actually digitally downloaded all the Yamato instructions. I literally just forgot about it. I'd put them on a hard drive because, like I say, I started this build in 2019, so I'd literally forgot that I'd done that. So yes, that was actually great because now I can actually continue a build that I started 5 years ago. But the nature of YouTube, if I started to like release videos after a series that I'd not released any videos for about 2.5 years, I don't think it'd probably do very well. I'm a completely different channel now to what I was back in 2019. So I thought probably the best thing to do, I've got 31 videos, is I can obviously I use a lot better editing software nowadays. So I thought I can probably put the original videos through the for the remaster, obviously, because I struggled with a bit of poor quality sound when I first started back in 19. So I've managed to clean up the audio a bit. Not perfect. I mean, there's only so much you can do with this an audio that wasn't great to start with. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it were from back in 2019. So yeah, hopefully this video's people enjoy this, and like I say, I'll keep releasing these videos right up to I kind of get to where I got to, which is issue 31, and then by then I would have actually carried on building the Yamato, then I'm about to start releasing new videos. So hope you all think it's a good idea. I just think it's best to kind of, probably best for me and best for the channel that I do it this way. So anyway, over to John from 2019, and I'll see you all again soon. Okay, so I was recently had on the first delivery of my first 4 issues of the Battleship YAMATO. Why did I choose YAMATO? And there's obviously so many other options out there, and there's lots of plastic ones. Back in January, I picked up the first issue of the Bismarck. It's a beautiful kit. And obviously I was thinking about it, but obviously in the end I decided to not to bother. And the main reason is just, it's like same as most modern day part works, it's pretty much built for you. And obviously I feel like obviously a model maker, obviously I like to build them myself. So obviously the last couple of weeks I've been doing some research, and I managed to come across the Yamato, and it's been out a few years, but it's more like the traditional builds, where obviously you're going to get obviously white metal superstructure, and you're still going to get a wooden hull. So the great thing about this, obviously, it's everything that's, when you see the finished model, it's all you built it yourself, and that's what I really like. So I got the first 4 parts. Like I said, we get some beautiful turned brass cannons, obviously some more parts of the superstructure, obviously the first main battery, and obviously some more, obviously the first parts of the decking. Put it as a comparison, size comparison. It's a 1:250 scale, so it pretty much will come out of the same size as the recent piece part kit. So I'm going to go about building this. Obviously, anybody watching my channel already realises that I don't follow the instructions to the letter, because I just think that they tell you things in the wrong sequence, from my opinion. Like, obviously they tell you to glue these parts in first, and then obviously later on as you start to build it, sometimes when they're all glued in, all these ribs, they can come with an issue. So obviously, I'll show you that process as I start building it. And same again with all the cast parts. It pretty much shows you to build a stage and then paint it. I won't be doing that, because obviously there's so much more detail you add on later on that if you paint it now, you're just making more work for yourself. And also, recently picked up a new Dremel soldering iron, so I'm really planning on obviously all the white metal parts. I'll be using the low malt solder on that, and I'll be soldering all the parts together. I just think it gives it a really nice finish. I've had experience obviously soldering before. I used to make some old gauge locomotives, so yeah, I'm quite experienced with using the soldering iron and the low melt solder. Well, anyway, that's it for this introduction video. If you'd like to see me build the Yamato over the next 2 years, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you've got any comments, especially comments about if anybody knows any other kind of battleships that are still obviously where you kind of build the wooden keel and the wooden frame and the wooden hull, just let me know, because obviously I'm finding it very hard to try and find any other battleships like this. It's just for the future going forward. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Okay, so as you saw in my first video, which was the introduction video, I've already got the first 4 parts. So I think the first thing to do is obviously let's get this ripped open, take a look at it. Okay, like I said before, it's handy to keep these. You can use them to make windows, obviously use them to put your glue in, but yeah, always try and keep them. Okay, so let's get the first parts out. We get a nice little file. We get some, obviously I'm assuming this is PVA glue, but obviously it's probably been in there a while, so it's no good. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what that is, and I'm not sure if this is the same. Yeah, but whatever it is, it's all obviously, it's been there a while, so it's all perished. We get some parts of the superstructure. Okay, so it's got the parts laid out. Obviously, there's not really much to do in issue 1. Let's have a quick look at the superstructure. Nicely, that fits quite nice. Yeah, there's obviously some work as to fill in. That's going to fit nice. That's in on the top. This part goes on the top. Yeah, that's going to be okay. Okay, so I've laid out the first 2 parts of the keel. I'm just asking you to leave little wooden, almost like little notches facing forward. It's asking you to take the first like bulkhead, number 7, and that fits in the second slot back. Like I say, according to the instructions, they tell you to glue these in now, but like I say, I don't follow the instructions. And obviously, it actually take part 8. And that slips in. Obviously, I'm just going to turn it upside down, because obviously it's got 2 little tags. And the reason, obviously, that I don't glue in anything yet, because obviously these tags are going to go in, obviously, a part of the bottom of the ship. So, like I say, once you start adding all these parts in, that's when it all squares itself up in any case. So I just don't think you need to glue anything at this stage. So that's pretty much it for the first part of the keel. And put that to one side. Okay, so we're just getting the first 2 parts of the superstructure. This is the bridge. This is the left and right hand parts, and they fit quite nice. I'm just going to give them a little file, and we also get the anti-aircraft command post, and that fits on top. Yeah, so I think first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to file this. Okay, so I'm just going to fit the 2 parts together. What I've noticed, the right hand side is slightly higher than the left hand side. Not too much, but just enough that you can kind of feel it. And obviously to sand it all smooth, you have to sand like the entire sections right hand side to get it all level. So I think the best thing to do is obviously just to sand off the little nips. I'm just going around the edges with an 800 grade sandpaper just to smooth out any imperfections on the edges of the castings. That's fitted quite nice, obviously. Because we've taken away the location nipples, obviously now the two parts won't actually hold together like they did before. But obviously that's not a problem, because obviously now I can like line it up 100% correct. And before, it was kind of like being held by the nipples into the location that they chose. So your castings are slightly off, and you're never going to get them level. So, but like I said in my last video, I'm going to actually solder these parts. But obviously, because I've got no obviously like location nipples held together, I'm just going to use a little bit of super glue on some of the larger surfaces, just so I can just like slightly tack weld it in place. I'm just going to use a little bit on the largest section, and just use a little bit on where the location pins of the nipples were before. I'm just going to bring the two parts together and just line them up. And you mainly want it so it's like, obviously like the tops are all lined up. I know there's probably going to be extra parts added later on, but obviously if you get this stage right, it's just going to make everything a little bit better. And that's now just gripped. Okay, so now it's soldering time. Okay, so I've got my soldering iron. I've just filled it with gas. It's a butane powered soldering iron. Just pretty much lights it, put it onto lock, put it onto lock, and then obviously that controls it. You can obviously turn the flow. You can, right. It feels quite nice. It doesn't feel that much more heavier than the pen. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. Just obviously means I get no cables tying me down, especially when being left-handed. Okay, let's get the model over. Okay, so I'm just going to get me white metal flux. I'm just going to run it all the way along. It's always best to, if you can, just obviously solder from the inside. I'm going to run a little bit in the gap. Get your soldering iron. I've got it on the lowest setting. You can't obviously, you've got no temperature gauge, but obviously on the lowest setting you should be fine. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the white solder. I'm just going to start to run it down this seam line. Be careful, they do get quite hot, so obviously only work with it for a couple of seconds at a time. Just pick up a bit more. Okay, so that's the first section done. You got them really nice. That's really solid now. It's really good. Obviously, especially when you're putting on the little decorative features, you can kind of just clean the end of the tip. Make sure you don't get your finger out of the way, otherwise you're going to burn it like I'm just done. Yeah, like when you're working on the little decorative features where you add in all the edge brass parts, and you can like just pop them in. You just drop little tacks of solder in, and you get such a good weld. Okay, so I'm just going to fill this bit up. Okay, so that's pretty much all the first part of the bridge all filled with solder. It's not bad for the first attempt. Pretty much most of the most of the little gaps have filled, all the solders run into it. There's a few places, but that's not too much of an issue. I'm just going to start by sanding all these seams down. Okay, just pay extra attention when you get around the also like the window section. Last thing you want is a slight lip going all the way around the top of that. And last thing you want to do is obviously sand that away. Yeah, so just keep your eye out. I'm going to move on to the command center. Obviously, sometimes, obviously like around the top of the window there, you can clearly see that's decoration. But around the top of the command center, you can clearly see that's just a casting mark. So that just needs filing off. Because I've got windows at the bottom, obviously what I'm slightly doing is angling slightly, probably 5 degrees down. Because obviously I'm not too bothered if it slightly rubs into that, that's okay, but I don't want it to rub into the window. So yeah, so I'm going to slightly take this off, but angling down. Just work all your way around. Like I say, just keep angling away so you don't rub any of this detail off around the windows. Finish off with a little bit of 800 sandpaper. Yeah, that feels nice and smooth. You can feel it with your hands. There's nothing better than obviously feeling something smooth than just run your fingers over it. Okay, move on to the next station. Okay, so that's all the command center all filed off. That's moved out. I'm not going to solder this part because I don't want to fill up all that natural window ledge. So I've just mixed up a little bit of 2 parts epoxy resin. I'm just going to epoxy these 2 parts together. So I'm just going to run, trying to keep it all on the inside. Along the inner edge, not so much the outer edge. Just bring these 2 parts together, and I'm just going to pretty much let it sit there and dry. Okay, so the bridge has been sat for the last hour, and the epoxy resin is fully dry. It's absolutely solid, but it's also still left the nice little window line indication. So once see that's painted, that's going to look really nice. Okay, if I'm going to follow the instructions, which I'm not, obviously tell you to bare metal primer this now, and then add your final Battleship grey coat. But obviously I just don't get that at all. There's so much more detail. I'm going to put a picture on the screen what it looks like when it's fully complete, the bridge. There's so much. There's obviously brass metal parts, there's etchings. So obviously, yeah, so I'm going to leave that as it is for today. I'm going to bring over the first part of the whole section, which obviously I've not glued. But that's pretty much it for issue 1. Okay, so bring it over pack 2. And obviously it looks like obviously next issue we're going to get some more of the bulkheads. And I think we're going to get the bottom of the ship as well. Obviously, this is what I'm telling you about. Obviously, these little nibs, obviously they'll go into their lights. So that's why I haven't glued anything yet. And also, we're going to get the first main battery. And that looks really nice. That looks like a really nice piece. Obviously, we've got some more parts that are going to obviously get. Obviously, I'm going to solder them into there as well. Yeah, but I'm actually really looking forward to this build. It's the first actual battleship I've ever made. Obviously, probably made a little plastic kit one when I was younger. But I've made loads of ships, but yeah, it's the first battleship, so yeah, really excited to see it. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, absolutely great. If you just give me a like, because obviously it really helps little channels like myself. And if you want to see more from the Yamato build series, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all next time.